Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsey. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up or commenting below. If you want to see more of my videos, press the subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications. If you need any Stampin' Up! Products to make these cards, you can visit my online store and the link is in the description box below. So today I'd like to share with you my first paper pumpkin alternative project using the December 2020 Beary Comforting kit. Now this kit creates 12 regular size cards, and I did make those in my unboxing video, and you can watch that up here in the top right corner. I'll put a link, and it just kind of walks you through how to create the cards as they are intended from the kit. And they're just really cute. I love those little animals. So what I like to do is take the contents from the kit, add maybe just a couple things from my craft room, and create alternative projects. So today we're going to be making this cute card. I'm going to show you how I colored the bear because this bear is a stamped image. And let me go ahead and show you that stamp set that came in the kit. So you get this really great, nice size stamp of a cute little bear. We've got some leaves, flowers, and some really great greetings. Get well soon, you're on my mind, and hooray. And so I'm going to show you how I colored this bear using the Stampin' Blend Markers. Then we've also got the stamped image of the flowers and then the get well soon. So let's go ahead and get started. To start, you're going to need a couple of the things from the kit. You're going to need an envelope, and then the Calypso Coral and the rich Razzleberry cardstock bases. And then from your own stash, you're going to need a card base. And I'm using the just Whisper White Cardstock, and it's been cut to 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. And then I wanted to use a little bit of gold foil. And here I've got the brushed gold foil, but you could use any gold foil. And this is just a 3-inch square. Then I've got 2 pieces that are just some scrap paper for me to do my stamping on. And from the kit, you're also going to need one of the longer label die cuts. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to cut down these card bases and envelopes. To start with the envelope, this is going to be our background pattern. And so we're going to cut it. And I like to begin by just trimming off one of the sides, and that can be the bottom or the top. And I just do the slightest trim, so maybe like a 1/16 of an inch off one of the sides, and then rotate and do the same, just a really tiny trim. And then you can open up that envelope and see where the color begins. And so now I need to trim a little more off this side here. So then I'm going to rotate, and I'm going to trim it at 4 1/8. And then I'm going to rotate again, and I'm going to trim at 5 3/8. And that should just be barely enough on that length to give me a full sheet of that really fun striped pattern. Next, let's go to the rich Razzleberry cardstock, and we're just going to be trimming off one of the edges here. And we're going to trim it to 1 1/4. And that's just from the plain side. So we're not trimming anything from the front of that card base. And then rotate and trim to 4 1/4. Next, we're going to take the Calypso Coral, and we're going to trim it right in half, and that will be at 4 1/4. And then you're going to rotate again, and you're going to now trim at 2 3/4. And that will cut it right in the middle. And you're going to get 2 pieces that are very similar to each other, which means we can create 2 of these cards. So go ahead and just put one of these off to the side, and then we'll use the other one for our card today. Don't miss next month's kit. The Sending Hearts in January 2021 has everything you need to create 8 adorable cards. You can also purchase the Little Love Boxes add-on kit to make 20 tiny printed boxes. Get the details on my blog, creativechelsey.com. And make sure to sign up before January 10th. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and do our stamping. So you're gonna have your pieces that we're gonna stamp with, and I'm gonna start with the large bear stamp, and I'm gonna stamp it on a piece of cardstock that's 2 inches by 3 inches, and I'm inking it up with the Stampin' Spot that came in the kit, and this is Rich Razzleberry. So just gonna go all the way around and just make sure I've got a nice even image. Make sure I've got plenty of ink on that face with that cute nose. And then I'm going to stamp him right in the center of that piece with nice even pressure. Okay, I'm going to just put him off to the side so he can dry a little bit. Next, I'm going to stamp the flowers. And this is just a small piece of scrap paper. Anything that fits these flowers will work for you. So again, just ink it up, make sure there's plenty of ink over those solid images so we get nice crisp images. And then good pressure. And then last, let's stamp our greeting. And the greeting is going on the large label from the kit, and we're going to stamp it on the left side of that label. So not in the center, just on the left. So just kind of center it so that there's even spacing on the top, bottom, and on the left side. And you're gonna get something like that. So now that all of those are stamped, we can move on to coloring our images. So you can see here how I've colored my bear. So I've started with the ivory and the bronze Stampin' Blend markers, and then I'm using the light Rococo Rose blend marker for some pink in the face and in the ears. And then just for a little bit of shadow, I've pulled in a different brown. And this brown is the cinnamon cider. And I can either use the light or the dark, and that's just going to give me a little bit of shadow in some areas. And then for my flower, I'm going to just color in the leaves, and I want it to kind of coordinate with the pattern paper that's in the back here. And it's got a little bit of the soft sea foam in it. And so I've got both the light and dark of the soft sea foam. So to begin on my bear, I'm just going to take that ivory color, and I'm just going to color the face and the tummy of this cute guy. So here's a close-up to show you where I've placed that ivory color. You may notice there's a little bit of bleeding happening with the Rich Razzleberry ink. And so you just want to make sure you don't put too much of the blend marker ink over the Rich Razzleberry ink, which will make it bleed even more. So now let's move on to the bronze color. And I'm going to use the brush tip. Okay, and then a close-up showing you where the bronze goes. So now let's do a little bit of the pink in the cheeks and in the ears. So I'm just going to place a little pink in the ears and just a little bit in the cheek area. And then using the fine tip, I'm going to place a little bit here in the mouth. And then I'm going to go back with the ivory, and I'm just going to blend that out using the brush tip. So just need to get a little bit of ink on that pink, and it will just kind of blend it right out. And then I'm not going to do any blending there on in the mouth. And then I did forget to add a little bit of the bronze color here. So I'm just going to add a little bit to the outside and then take that ivory again and just blend that so it feels a little more natural to his face, so it's not quite as dark. So now we've got a really cute rosy face. Next we're going to take some of that cinnamon cider, and I'm going to use the dark color, and then I'm going to add some shadow. So right here underneath the chin and then under the arm, add just a little shadow there. And then I'm going to take the coordinating color and I'm just going to blend that color out just slightly. So if the shadow's on the ivory, I'm just going to blend it with the ivory pen. And then if it's on the bronze, I'll take that bronze and blend it a little bit with the bronze. Okay, so you can see there's a little bit of shadow there. Things are just drying a little bit, so they won't be quite as dark when they're dry. So we can just place that off to the side, and let's work on the flowers next. So with the soft sea foam, you can get 2 colors by just adding one dark color on half of the leaf and then the light on the other half. You don't need to worry too much about blending here. We're just wanting to add a little bit of color and green to that grouping of flowers. So it's very light and subtle. If you wanted to add a little more color just to kind of darken it up, you can do that as well. Okay, so next we're going to take both the bear and the flowers and we're going to fussy cut these out. And I'm just going to speed this up. Okay, so both of those are fussy cut out, and so now we are ready to put our card together. So starting with the card base, go ahead and fold that along the score line and take a bone folder and make a nice crease. Then you're going to take that striped pattern paper that came from the envelope and you're just going to apply it with some adhesive. And that just goes right in the center on the card front, and there'll be just a 1/16 of an inch all the way around. So just kind of eyeball that to try and make sure it gets in the center. So then next we're going to take that rich razzleberry cardstock and apply that, and we're going to place it about 1 inch from the bottom. And so you can use grid paper or a ruler to kind of just add it, or you can eyeball it. Okay, so next we're going to add the 3-inch square of foil behind our Calypso Coral cardstock. And so you can either eyeball this, or you can try to use a grid paper or ruler to make sure that it's in the center. So just apply some adhesive on the back that's in about the middle, and then just line this up. And you're looking for about 1/8 of an inch on the left and right side, and then about 5/8 of an inch on the top and bottom. And that should put it in about the middle. And then we're going to add this to the center of our card, and just with some regular adhesive. If you wanted, you could use some dimensionals here. And that just goes in the center. And just eyeball that. So next we're going to add our stamped images. There is one little thing that I like to do here is I just used an X-Acto knife to cut around this cute little bear's hand. So I've got the chipboard piece that came from the paper pumpkin kit. I'm just going to take the bear and an X-Acto knife, and I'm just going to cut right along that purple line that we stamped, and just kind of slowly go around the front part of his arm and then come on back. You can stop right where the next purple line kind of starts to come down. Okay, so there we go. We've got a cute little arm that can pop out, and he's going to hold the flowers in that little arm. So something like that. So you can just tuck those flowers in. To make those flowers pop, I did use a dimensional, and I just placed it behind the larger area of the flowers, and then stuck the leaves in, and then put the flowers onto the bear. So they're adhered to the bear so that they're pop up from him. And then to apply the bear, we are going to use some dimensionals. And before we do that, let's add our greeting. And this greeting, we're just going to place with some adhesive. And it's going to go to the left. So it kind of comes off a little bit into this space here. And then go ahead and add the bear. And you're just going to cover that right side with the bear. And he just goes there. And you do want to have those leaves up here in the top left corner so that the bear doesn't cover them, because that's just a really fun element to have those gold foil leaves. And then the last couple things I want to add are just some accessories. So I do want to add a little bow, and it's going to just go on the bottom of the flowers. And I just have some of the gold twine that's from the Forever Greenery Trim Combo Pack. And I'm going to cut 8 inches. And I like to keep this from fraying, and how I do that is by tying 2 knots, and then I cut between those 2 knots. So I've tied 1, and there's knot number 2. I don't know if you can see those very well. And then I just take my ribbon scissors and cut right between them, and that keeps this twine from fraying. Sometimes I want a frayed look, and so I will go ahead and fray my gold twine. But for this, I want it to be a nice clean bow. And so I'm going to just add that right there to the bottom of the flowers. And I do have a little trick for that, because the knot of the gold twine is so small that if I add a glue dot, the glue dot is much bigger. And so what I have here, and it's probably hard to see, is just a glue dot, and I can cut it into 4ths. And so you just start by cutting in half, and then you cut each half again, and that will give you a 1/4 of a glue dot, which is the right size for a small bow like this. And so I'm just going to go ahead and grab a section of that glue dot and place it on the bottom of the flowers. You know, I think I might actually add this one to a little higher up where the leaves are, and then place that bow right over it like that. So I'll show you my first one. So my first one I placed at the bottom, and then my second one I have placed a little bit higher. And then the next thing I'm going to add are some of these gold and clear embellishments, and they come from the Wonderful Gems pack, and this item is retiring on January 4th. So if you're interested in getting these, then you'll want to make sure to grab a couple packets of them before they're gone. And I'm just going to add 3 of them. So maybe a large one down here in the purple, maybe another large one. Let's put it on the stripes, and then another small one down here on the stripes. So just something like that to just add a little extra pop to the card. And our card is now all done. So you do have 2 of these Calypso coral pieces, and so you could easily create 2 of these cards using just another card base and another envelope, as well as some more of that rich razzleberry cardstock and some gold foil. So I hope you enjoyed watching me create this alternative card today. If you would like to see detailed instructions and close-up images of these cards, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. Thank you so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.